And welcome back, everyone, to our studios here in the Port of Los Angeles. I'm Gary Cox, and this is another edition of From Around Los Angeles. And I do apologize, folks. As you can tell, I did get way too much sun over the extended Memorial Day weekend. But more seriously, during the next half hour, we're going to focus on well, quite frankly, a very serious subject, and that is emergency preparedness in the case of a man-made or natural catastrophe or disaster here in the greater Port of Los Angeles area. And we're going to tell you what you should be thinking about and what you should be doing to prepare yourself and why that's so important. And to do that, I'm very pleased to welcome three distinguished guests to this edition of From Around Los Angeles, beginning with, if you will, quite bluntly, the man in charge, the captain of the Port of Los Angeles and Long Beach, and that is Captain Paul Wiedenheft, who is obviously from the United States Coast Guard. In addition to Captain Wiedenheft, I'm very pleased to welcome back a familiar face to our studios here, and that is Battalion Chief from the Los Angeles City Fire Department, Mr. Louis Rapoli. Mr. Rapoli, as you well know, was once based down here in the harbor, and he's going to be providing some insight as well. And finally, a new face to us here, and a very influential person, and we're going to find out more about that in just a few moments. But that is the chair of the committee, the Harbor Area Committee on Port Safety and Security, and that is Lana Calhoun. Lana founded this organization, and we're going to tell you why it has become very much a focal point. And normally I start with the guest closest to me, but I think if you will, gentlemen, I'm going to jump right down to Lana here to begin, because Lana, you really got the ball rolling in forming this committee. COPS is an acronym, if you will, COPSS, Community on Port Security and Safety. Tell us about it.
Well, it's an outreach committee from 4 neighborhood councils, and when I was elected to the neighborhood council, my agenda really was port security and safety, and I started sitting through the neighborhood council meetings and getting more familiar with the community, and realized that we just were not doing what we needed to do to prepare this community for some of the risk factors that we are subject to. So there really wasn't enough being done, in our estimation, in preparing the community to take care of ourselves in the event of a real disaster, as you mentioned.
We're going to come back and learn much more about this, Lana, in just a moment. But Captain Wiedenheft, this is the kind of thing you like to see, is it not, sir?
Absolutely. I think that's it's a key part of what we're looking for port security and safety in here. Part of my responsibility as a captain of the port is the safety and security of the port here. And even part of that is the Area Maritime Security Committee under the Maritime Transportation Security Act. And part of that is to bring together as many organizations as we can to prepare for and to defend and deter any type of event that might lead to compromise the security and the safety in this port. Part of that, as we look at it, brings in first responders, law enforcement agencies, industry, labor that are all working in the port. But the element that we're missing, one of these things, is the community organizations that we need to, and that's what Ms. Calhoun is clearly leading in.
Chief Rapoli, I forgot to mention, sir, that you are also the community liaison officer, if you will, and you can tell us more about that in just a moment. But Captain Wiedenheft mentioned first responders, and of course, as a fire department city official, that is exactly what you are. What does that exactly mean, and what does it represent, if you will?
Well, first responders in the public safety arena, the fire department normally, on any type of incident, we couple our basis with the LAPD down in the port and the port police as well. And we're always in contact with the Coast Guard, with the captain of the port, trying to coordinate our efforts whenever there's any type of an emergency situation in the harbor area, and especially down in the port area.
And as Captain Wiedenheft expressed, I'm sure you're quite ecstatic over this new and growing committee, COPS, here in the Port of Los Angeles.
Yes, I think that Lana represents the community's voice out there through the neighborhood councils, and I think with the captain of the port's role in being the chair of the Area Maritime Security Committee and gathering and pulling together all the different agencies affiliated in the port, from law enforcement, Coast Guard, fire departments around the area, But as the captain mentioned, I think that link that has been missing is now being able to take everything that we've put together and to draw and couple our efforts in with the community.
And Lana, the cops really, if you will, it's about community mobilization, is it not?
Yes, it really is.
Can you expound on that?
I like to think about when I first got involved in COPS 16 months ago. Naively, the first thing I wanted to do was to take whatever evacuation plan there was and distribute it to the stakeholders in the community, not realizing that we still did not have a complete evacuation plan. There are different evacuation plans in the community, but not one real comprehensive evacuation plan. So one of our goals in COPS was to research what has been done, what's being done in the area of port safety and security with the focus on the stakeholders, the people that live here. And that's when we first got involved in the Area Maritime Security Committee, and I am reassured and very impressed with the work that's being done in this community to secure the ports and to mobilize all the first responders together through that committee. And I believe that committee is really a national model. However, the problem is that it is addressing primarily the infrastructure and the business aspect and the people, of course, but the stakeholders, the people that live here in this community, that's where we all recognize that we have to do a lot more to prepare ourselves. Because the reality is we may need to take care of ourselves, they're saying, for at least 48 hours, 72 hours, maybe longer, depending on the nature of the emergency. And I believe our community, as it stands now, is woefully unprepared for that event.
Self-sustainability is what it's all about.
Exactly.
What should the average family household person do?
Well, there's a lot of guidelines, and on our COPS website there's a lot of links to different COPS sites, and the LA Fire Department has a wonderful website as well. There's emergency information available, and mainly you have to stock up on water, your own medical supplies, tools in your house. There's a whole list of things that you need to do. The reality is we just have to do it. And few people, I believe, in this community are completely prepared.